Hi, Sheri.
Hi, Janelle. Are you gonna
We're starting. It's already recording. So we've got our waters, but we're drinking out of wine glasses, so we feel fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got Sheri here today. She's my best friend, and it's just a very busy lady. And so I wanted to thank you for taking time
Anytime
to talk to me on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked Sheri to be here to talk about like how to be a working mom, because I think in 2025 it's even harder to be a working mom than it ever has been.
Yep.
And so anyway, let's just get to going. You told me you got your nails done today.
I did. You've got to find time to do those things for yourself. So,
Yeah.
my nails, my pedicure.
But they didn't match your toes?
No, they didn't match. But then they fixed it. I mean, it's closer. It's still not perfect.
Did they have to do like the little shade match? Like
they tried, like the lady was going around and finding other nail polishes and like putting it on her skin and bringing it and putting it close to my nails. And I was like, I don't care what color it is. I just want it to look better than magenta and this like beachy orange.
Yeah.
Pink.
Did you take a picture of the number so you could replicate it? No. They always tell me you should take a picture of the number so you can replicate it.
Well, the thing is, I picked out a color set from one brand, and then they ended up bringing me another brand.
Oh.
And the guy, he was super nice, but he was like, oh, well, gel and regular polish don't ever match. I was like, no, you'll have one brand that matches really well, and that's why I picked from that one. But that's okay. It's okay.
And you got your hair done yesterday.
I did. I got all my grays covered.
It looks good.
They were bad.
Looks nice and blonde.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is funny is that you do all these things when you're on vacation.
Yeah. Because that's when I have time.
Like, you know, because I own my own business, I can get my hair done. I got my hair done last Friday, you know, but I'm still working. Like I'm working in the chair and, you know, but because I am self-employed, I can do that. But you don't. You have to like schedule them on Saturdays and around kid games or like after work. Like you don't get to go get your hair done at 3:00 on Thursday.
And could I sit in a chair and do work for 2 hours? Yes, but my job doesn't see it like that. So
sure.
I'm not self-employed, so I sit at a desk all day.
So that leads me to, you work for the school district.
Yes.
And you have been in the school district. How long have you worked for a school district?
So this round in Round Rock, I've been there 11 years. So we'll start year 12 when we go back in another week or so.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been there 11 years, but I started off as a teacher for 7. Went to a different district for 4, and then this stint, like I said, I'm starting year 12.
So you've been in the public school system
22 years.
We are not old enough.
No, we're not.
That is not
12 years. It's just 12. Just 12.
That's like that meme I saw the other day. This lady, she said, my face when I am 25 and I was born in 1987, realizing the lady that's sitting next to me is 25 and she was born in 2000. You can't have been in the school system for 22 years.
Well, I mean, the numbers don't lie. We're not young.
That sucks.
But it doesn't. We've had good lives.
You know? I mean, and you know a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like, Sheri, you don't think you know a ton of people, but every time we go somewhere, we run into a former student or somebody you used to work with or, you know, something. You've touched a lot of lives through the years.
I guess so. Yeah, Brixton and I had an appointment the other day, you know, again, on break, to take out the stitches from my little
that's right, they're gone.
Yeah, my stitches are gone. But as we were walking through the clinic, I pointed out they've got these pictures of kids from Round Rock from like eons ago, and I was like, that kid, so-and-so, I taught him in high school. He's like, but he's on the wall. I was like, yeah, they just happened to be a family, you know, they took photos of or whatever, but I taught him a long time ago. Now that kid is doing like safaris all around the world. He's a taxidermist, and he was in Africa the other day getting all kinds of trophies. It was awesome.
Yeah. Do you follow him on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Do you follow most of your former students or try to?
The ones that like I knew more or better than other students when I was teaching.
Yeah.
I mean, because I taught probably 180 plus kids a year, so no.
Times how many years were you in the classroom? 7. Oh, that's a lot of kids.
It was. So the kids were really involved in FFA, and those were the kids that I still follow.
Well, and I feel like when you teach ag, like you did, you get to know the kids a lot better. Yeah. I mean, not to say like a math teacher doesn't get to know them, but you do travel with them and make sure they're in hotels and honor what's it called? When curfews, and like you're kind of like their mom a little bit, even though they're 17. Yeah. So it's not as weird for you to be following on social media,
right? And it's not like I was friends with them on Facebook. Well, first off, I don't even think I had Facebook when I was teaching. I don't think it started until probably I got out of the classroom.
When did we start Facebook?
I don't know. I need to go back. I feel like I was working at Lake Travis because I think Jeremy was still teaching. And he came back from conference, and he was like, "Yeah, everybody talks about you got to start a Facebook page, or a Facebook account." We were so
when would
old.
That have been?
Like 2010.
Yeah. I was gonna say Samantha, my niece, was born 2010, and I remember thinking, I want to post pictures of this beautiful baby.
Yeah.
So like 20. I mean, I know it was beforehand because of college people and. I remember my sister had a Facebook when she was in graduate school, and she would talk about like the books that other people were recommending. Like it was a different social networking through the education university setting. Yeah. And I remember thinking, that's weird. Why would you take book recommendations from total strangers?
I mean, why not? You have
now it's so normal. Like, I mean, you go to reviews and you read perfect strangers reviews and you determine, are they crazy or not?
Well, it determines your life decisions. Like, I read the review on this. Yes, please. I will take it.
It's weird. I know. Because back then I remember thinking, that's a perfect stranger. Why would you listen to this?
Remember that show, Perfect Strangers? Anyways, that's not over here. But
that was a flashback to how old you are. Because that was like an 80s flashback.
With cousin Balky.
Yeah. That was a take a while back. You went back down memory lane.
It just gives us street cred that we've been on this, planet for a while. So we know what we're talking about.
Wow, 22 years teaching kids, and now you're teaching teachers.
Yes.
And you have how many teachers on your team?
It varies year to year, but now that all of the politics of school, now that the funding is just kind of less and less per student, we're stacking more kids in classes. So our number of teachers has actually gone down, but the number of students we're teaching is going up. So I have about 170 or 180 teachers that we work with.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they have bosses, and then you manage their bosses' bosses?
So sort of. So the teachers report to their principals or assistant principal on their campus. And
you can tell I've never worked in education.
It's okay.
I don't live life by semesters, and I forget that principals are actually the bosses.
Yeah, I do. I live by a semester. But then on my team, the actual folks that I supervise, I've got 5 specialists that work by program area. So maybe one is over business marketing and finance, architecture, and AV production, let's say. And that person supports those teachers and all of their needs. And we've got a curriculum coordinator. I've got a couple of assistant directors that manage some different things. An ITS, instructional technology specialist, who manages all the software for all of our computers. Because I think we've got 60 plus computer labs that our students use. Yeah, it's a lot.
How many campuses are you over?
5 high schools and 11 middle schools. And just the CTE programs at those campuses.
Sure. But still, like, how many emails do you get a day?
Oh, I don't even know. Because there's so many that just go straight to like spam or get filtered out and get deleted,
but work related.
I know you're gonna ask me that question. It can vary. Like in the summer, it's really busy and we get a lot of work done, but the amount of emails goes down to a minuscule
because you're not getting teacher questions.
Yep, and teachers are gone. But once teachers are there, it's a couple hundred a day, and it's not like a yes or a no. It's usually like a thought-provoking, like, oh, what did we do last year? Have we handled this in the past?
Are we graduating enough kids?
Yes.
Are they actually learning? Mm-hmm. Can they actually be cosmetologists?
Yeah. Real productive members of society.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah, because you're in charge of the people that could not go to college. They can literally go and get a job when they graduate and make a good salary.
Yeah. So our programs range anywhere from immediate jobs right out of high school because they've gotten a certificate or something from us or earned a license.
License,
all the way through to, I'm going to be a doctor.
Sure.
So
that's right. Because of the
kids.
nursing and health sciences. Yeah, that's right.
Engineering.
So it's not just vocational.
No,
I know you hate that word.
That is a dirty word. We don't use that word.
What's the word we're supposed to use?
Career and technical.
Career and technical. Excuse me.
Everybody, no matter if you go to a 2-year, 4-year, postgraduate, whatever kind of a school setting, you're going for a career.
It's true.
Right? Nobody's going, unless you are independently wealthy and can just go for your own learning. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going for a career. And we don't say job because that stands for JOB, Journey of the Broke. Okay. And nobody need a job. Yeah. People need careers.
Yes. Well, and you're happier in a career.
Yes. Oh yeah. Fulfilled.
Yeah. Agree. So then I guess what I'm trying to get my head around is you get several hundred emails a day. Mm-hmm. You have 2 children. You're married. Yep. You don't live near your job. You've got a 45-minute commute?
That's on the worst end of it. Yeah. Most of the time it's 35 minutes.
Okay. So if there's an accident, it's 45. So 35-minute commute. And they're involved, your kiddos are involved in after school activities. And, you have to spend time with your husband. Yeah. And so what time do you wake up in the morning?
Well, I set my alarm for one time, but I probably get up by 5:45 and get going. And it's not like let me be leisurely and sit and have my coffee or work out. It's, wake up and get started, because during the school year, Jeremy and the kids have to get out the door by 6:40 because they've got to beat traffic and make sure they don't get stuck on the toll. Since they're in a transfer to a different school district, they don't go in our own town. That would be another thing that would make it a little bit easier and less complicated if they went to our neighborhood school. But that's just not in the cards for us. They go with Dad, which is really, really helpful for me to manage, because he does the drop-off and the pickup. And really the pickup is they walk to him.
Because he's also a teacher, so they go to school literally next door.
Right next door. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So 5:45, wake up, and then and then the 35-minute commute. So what time are you supposed to be working at your desk?
I'm supposed to be there by 8, but I try to get there by 7:30 or 7:45.
Okay. And so then when do all the questions start from your team?
Well, so I've got some folks that like to get to work really, really early. So they are waiting when I walk in the door. I've got some that might get there at 7.
Wow.
And so
they're super efficient people.
They like to start early, end early.
Okay.
Which is fine. If that's your most productive work time, that's great.
Everybody's thinking different times a day. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think most of us know we've got a little groove. I walk in, I set my stuff down, walk around with my coffee, because I'm still on that first cup, You
don't drink a cup of coffee on the way in?
Girlfriend, it's not that. I mean, I'm not going to chug it. It's hot.
I would drink a whole cup of coffee I would probably drink 2 cups of coffee in a 30-minute commute.
Do you try to keep it piping hot the whole time, or are you sipping it out of one of your coffee mugs? If you're one of your coffee mugs, that thing gets cold and you could pound that thing back. But a good hot cup of coffee in a Yeti,
I think I just drink more coffee than you.
You do, but I'll have 2 or 3 then after that. So I'll have 3 cups of coffee in a day at work. But I cut myself off by 10 or 11. I can't drink it after that hour. It just feels weird.
So I'm trying to be better.
That's good. You
should.
But
I used to drink coffee till 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, I know. But when I was in the advertising agency, I drank coffee all day.
Well, I mean, that's better than drinking Diet Coke or something.
Yes. Or in Dr. Pepper. No, absolutely. But I would drink coffee all day. And then, so I've been trying. And so now I probably drink coffee to at least 10.
Okay, that's not bad.
But
what time do you start at?
7.
Okay, that's not bad. But how many pots is that? Or how many cups?
I don't have a pot anymore.
Okay. But when it was a pot.
Yeah. I would say 4 or 5.
4 or 5 pots?
No, cups. Oh. A pot would probably be a pot. I would drink a whole pot by myself. Yeah, I could drink a whole pot of coffee by myself.
Not bad. Okay. Yeah. I've had family members who would do a whole pot and maybe more before they left the house to go to work. And they were
no, I'm not that bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, not that bad.
Well, and I used to only start off the day with decaf.
Yeah,
which
is weird.
I know, I've switched. It weirded a lot of people out, but it didn't weird me out. I don't need it to get started.
Yeah,
I am perfectly perky. Not everyone appreciates that. So when I do get to work and I'm walking around, got my cup of coffee. Good morning. Hey, how you doing? You good? You're good. Check in with everybody. Go and sign whatever financial paperwork I've got to sign for the day, because a big part of my job is just spending money. I get to spend a lot of money, which is really fun, because it's going to cool projects and lots of opportunities. But so I walk around, greet everybody,
check on grandkids and babies.
You gotta shake the hands, kiss the babies, do all the things you gotta see and be seen.
Yeah.
And then I sit down and get started with work. But the day is a ton of meetings depending on what's going on in a week. I mean, folks will look at my calendar and be like, "Oh, you've got a lot going on." I'm like, "We all do. So what do you need?"
Yeah.
Just come on in. Doors always open.
So then, like me, I'm working, and I don't know, around noon, 1, I think, what am I going to make for dinner? But I'm not that far from home, so I can go and like take care of that if I need to. How do you plan for dinner?
So I try to plan in the beginning of the week, like when I do my Sunday grocery shopping with everybody else. Although if I grocery shop during a Cowboys game, life is good because I'm always at the grocery store.
That is the best time to go to the grocery store.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys playing, go to the grocery store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or if it's Saturday when the Longhorns are playing, because we live in that town.
Yeah.
That's when you go. But yeah, so I try to plan at the beginning of the week. But I also am married to a lovely human who is picky. And he has his own plans and agendas.
He does not care about your plan.
No. He may forget to tell me he's got meetings or we need to do X, Y, and Z during the week. So best laid plans, and then I may have to pivot. But there are times where I don't plan, and so I'm at lunch. I'm like throwing my grocery order together, or maybe go run and grab groceries at lunch. So
how do you grab groceries at lunch?
Put them in the fridge at work. I go to the grocery store over my lunch break.
Oh. Is that why you always call me from HEB?
Yes, that's the most efficient shopping. So if I don't get it done on Sunday, or I forgot something, I just run
hold on
over
a
lunch
second.
break.
Because like when I go grocery shopping, I spend like $200, $300. Are you doing that?
No.
Because if you have that $200 or $300 for the groceries in the fridge.
This is like 2 or 3 meals that I need to grab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not buying like after school snacks and. Okay.
This is just the stuff to get me by for a couple of days.
Okay. So like bread and milk and eggs.
The weekend is like the big one.
Okay. Got it.
I'm not grabbing toilet paper on a Tuesday at lunch. No.
That's what I'm visualizing. No. Like you walking into the office with all these groceries.
But see, that's the thing. Like you and I have very different feelings about the grocery store. It's my little like happy time. I get to walk up and down the aisles, peruse. It's just time for me.
I feel like I would enjoy the grocery store better if I lived in a different town.
No. Bless their heart.
The retired community, some of those retire
all day long.
The store is always busy next to Sun City, and some of those people are gyms.
Yeah.
And some of them are not.
Yeah.
And they annoy me. Those ones that are not act like they own that store, and they're mean.
You could drive out of your 5-mile radius little bubble and go to the other HEB.
I could. You're right.
Well, and then how many
I just go to Randall's.
But how many months before the other one is open?
Oh, it's going to be open soon. Yeah. Like, I think before school starts. Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
It will be nice. No,
we'll see.
Agree.
Will they migrate to the new one? You never know.
I don't know.
Well, there's a whole other section that's right next door. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. So I feel like I would enjoy it better if I had, a little bit nicer people to shop with and rub elbows with. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not very many people at the ones in Round Rock at lunchtime.
Yeah. I can see that because they're all in town working. Yeah. And you commute to Round Rock, but they probably commute to Austin.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're waking up in the morning. You're getting your kids out the door. Of course, you said your husband does a lot of that, which could you imagine being a single mom?
No. I wouldn't get any sleep. It would be horrible.
It would be so difficult.
Yeah,
and then you get to work and you have to start supporting your team because good bosses, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They are making their team look better and helping them and answering their questions so that they can do their job. So that's a big chunk of your day.
Oh, yes.
And you're just getting pummeled with, it sounds to me like you're just getting pummeled with lots of questions and interruptions. And then you have to get work done too for what you're responsible for. And then you plan dinner. So when you plan dinner, are you planning like a big pot on Sunday that you're going to eat on for 3 days?
Oh, that would be nice if my husband ate leftovers.
Oh, that's right.
If I make it into something else, like if we grill fajitas on Sunday night, then I can do quesadillas maybe Monday night. I could do enchiladas or something with it the next night. But no, it can't be the same meal. That's so sweet. So sweet.
So then are you like thawing out meat before you leave in the morning?
No, because I go to the grocery store often enough. I don't need to throw it in the freezer.
Okay, so like when you go to
I don't have time to worry if it's going to thaw out or not. You know what I mean?
So you're literally like fresh food every day.
Yeah.
And that's why you go to the store so often.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That is not the way I function whatsoever. Yeah. Okay. So then you get home from work when?
So during the school year, not the summer, because in the summer we work 4/10s, so it's really late by the time I get home. In the summer, maybe like 5:30, 5:45.
During the school year, you mean?
Or during the school year, yeah.
So you leave the office around 5?
Around 5.
Mm-hmm. And then you get home. And then if the kids have
activities, yes, it's getting them to where they need to go. If it's baseball, Jeremy's taking Brixton because he's the coach. But a lot of things, like with Catherine doing theater, he would drop her off, and then I might stay at work later and knock more things out, or go get my nails done, when you have fine time. And then I'll pick her up from it. So it just really depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you get enough time for yourself?
I think I could probably make more time, but the things that are important to me, like the self-care, like getting my hair and nails done, I feel like I do, because those things are scheduled. If something's not scheduled, it makes it much harder. So like when Brixton was little, or either of the kiddos, when they were still in daycare was like my cutoff time. I did pickup, and depending on the year, Jeremy might drop off or I might drop off. But if I was doing pickup, they closed at 5:00. So I flexed my time. I went to work early so I could leave early. And it was nice because I walked out. Something might not be done. Something might have to come home with me, but I really try not to bring too much home with me. It depends on like the season of where we are. But it was nice. It was a good cutoff time. And like, okay, now I'm in mom mode. But now that I don't have daycare, that line kind of gets blurred a little bit. And so I try to keep it defined.
So do you feel like you're working more?
Probably.
Yeah.
But there's also just more work to be done. I feel like things keep changing, and I don't know. It's never slowing down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, it seems like the world is doing more with fewer resources, or fewer human capital, or so we're as humans, we're asked to do more in our positions than ever before. And I can't decide if that's a good thing.
I don't know that it is. I don't think that it is. I don't know that we need to go to like some idea of like a 30-hour work week. I don't know that that's the answer whatsoever. But I think just having better expectations of what we hold each other accountable for.
Yeah. So do you feel like you get to spend enough time with your kids?
No. During the summer, I do. But during the school year, it's a hurry up, get home, cook. Oh, what do you need? Okay, let's talk, try to figure it out. But that's why you and I have had this conversation. I don't know if y'all know this, but Janelle hates paper plates.
I do.
And I live off of paper plates. I try not to microwave them, but if it's hot food coming out of the oven or whatever, it's going on a paper plate. And it's not because I hate the environment. That's not it at all. It's just one less thing that I've got to do that I would be prioritizing over talking with my kids, hanging out with them, whatever we might have. So it saves a couple of minutes, but those minutes add up. So that's in my head how I rationalize paper plates or why I use them.
And then me, I think, I don't understand. My kids do the dishes.
But you get many more hours with your kids during the day than I do. You know what I mean?
I do.
And even Jeremy gets way more hours with our kids than I do. Because he's in the ride in the morning, on the ride home.
All their little chit chats.
Yeah, I miss out on all of that.
So do you feel like you're unique as your working mom, or do you feel like a lot of moms are like you?
Oh no, I think this is the story of a working mom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm unique. The amount of time I get to spend with my kids is unique.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. But the trade-off is I don't make as much money as you.
Yeah.
So I wonder, is it important?
I don't know. I was thinking about that earlier today, thinking about our conversation. Money is a necessary evil. I mean, we've got to have it. So I don't know. I think you've got to balance and make sure that you're not prioritizing more money over more time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to have whatever that minimum standard is that you need to be able to function as a family. And then after that, if you decide to prioritize more hours or chasing more money or whatever it is the trade-off really worth it? Because I mean, thinking about it, I've only got 6 more years with my oldest.
Yeah.
And then we'll be, down to a single child, which he's loving less, by the way, right now. He thought he wasn't going to like single childdom. Oh, he's loving it. Now everything's like, Mom, single kid. Can I get what I want? So yeah, I've only got 6 more years. So,
yeah,
it's going to be tough.
And you think about that. Yeah. You think about like how many more summers you have, and does it make you sad?
I'm not like the super sad crier, you know this. Maybe a little bit. It makes me more proud about like who she's becoming and thinking about it. And because that's our jobs as parents is to prep them to be adults, because we only get them for 18 years or however long they're with you. But then they're off on their own, and so doing as much work as you can while you've got them. So I know that I'm doing that next step and prepping her for that. So that part makes me proud. But oh yeah, I'm gonna be a big blubbering idiot the day she moves out. And then when the other one goes, oh Lord help me. We really are empty nesters, but it'll be okay.
Because your kids are further apart in age.
Yeah, they're 5 years apart.
5. I don't know why I feel like they're further than that.
I don't know.
Like it feels like maybe it's because Brixton's just a little person.
Well, a little, and he's so much further behind yours.
Yeah.
You know, because Catherine's right in the mix of yours. And then Brixton, yeah, he's like the little guy running around all the time.
Yeah. Because it feels like they're more like 7 years apart or something. Yeah. Like they're 2 only children, but they're really not. Well, so if you were giving advice to a woman, how old do you think women nowadays think about having kids and like getting married? I know when we were growing up, we used to say like, we need to have our first baby by at least 26. And
oh Lord, I never said that. Oh, some women did. I got married at 26. No.
You didn't, like when you were 12 and you thought of your life plan?
No.
No? I used to have a plan. I used to have.
You did.
I used to have a plan.
Did you have a binder?
No, it was a spiral.
It
was a spiral. Okay. It was not decorated. It was just a spiral, and I had I drew a picture of what I wanted my house to look like. It had this big foyer with 2 staircases, and it kind of looked like the house on Clueless. Yeah, and then
very grand.
Yes, very. And I was supposed to get married, and then have my first child by like 26, 27, and then maybe my second child by 30. And that was my 12-year-old plan. And then when I got older, though, it never bothered me that I didn't stick to the plan.
Yeah,
like I didn't care. I mean, I still get married young. I was 24, but it didn't bother me that I didn't have a kid till when I was 27.
Yeah.
When I got to be 30, I was like, okay, hold up, wait a minute. Like, are we gonna have kids?
Yeah.
Because Clint, you're not really, in that mode right now. So I did get a little bit. My biological clock started ticking at 30. But what were you?
I remember worrying about the names of my kids and what my dress was going to look like, but I wasn't worried about what year it was going to happen or by this age or anything like that. But I had Catherine, and then 2 weeks later I turned 33 because we definitely waited. We wanted to have fun, and we were having lots of fun. And Jeremy and I both having the same job, both being ag teachers and traveling all the time into the same things out of town for, a couple of nights in a row. It's not really conducive to having kids when you don't have family around. So by the time it got to the point where, okay, I've got a new job, I can stay home and we can figure out the kid thing. My body was like,
your eggs are stale.
Not on its own. It's not happening. So,
because did you know that women's bodies are actually designed to have kids at 16 to 18?
Well, I mean, that's why they start early. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best bounce back. Could you imagine having a child at 18?
No.
Lots
of people do it, but no.
Yeah, that'd be like a child raising a child. It just, that's a whole nother story. But
because girls only went to school until age 12, maybe that made sense, but no.
Yeah, thinking back to that. But okay, so then regardless of what a girl's plan is, what would be your advice to a young working woman, to manage having a child and a family, if that's what she wants? Because not every woman wants that either. And I'm a firm believer not every woman should have to have children. Not have to have, that's not the right word. But if a woman is I don't want to have children, I'm good, because it's hard.
Yeah. And just same thing. If a man doesn't want a child, don't trap him with one.
No, don't you start taking birth control.
That's not going to be good for anybody.
No, you'll just end up in divorce.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It might take 10 years.
Worse, they're together forever. Because that's going to be a happy home.
Why? Why do girls do that?
I don't know, because they're dumb.
Girls used to tell me that all the time. When Clint and I were married, and I'd be like, I don't know if we're ever going to have children. I don't know if Clint's ever going to be ready. Women would be like, just stop taking your birth control pill. Yeah. They're like, what's he going to do? Leave you? I'm like, this is the worst advice ever.
I'm sure they were really happily married.
Yeah. Who sets themselves up for that life? I'm like, no.
Manipulative, crazy women.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm talking to, an 18-year-old, 20-something-year-old, whatever they are, and they're thinking about their life, if you're worried about waiting until you have enough money or you're in the right place, it's never going to happen. So if you want to have kids, have them whenever you want to. Have them as early as you want. If you're somebody that you've got goals of, I want to make partner or a certain status in my job before I do it, you can do that too. Know that it doesn't necessarily get physically easier. But I had Brixton when I was 37, almost 38. Would I change that? No. I love our little pattern of waiting, until they were 5 years apart. One in daycare at the time, one in college at a time. And so it worked out for us. I think you can't plan to say this is what's going to be perfect, because nothing's ever going to be perfect. But just jump in and do it. If you want to have them now, go for it. If you want to wait, just know it might be harder, but just do it.
See, and I tell ladies, no, you don't need to be having babies in your early 20s. Figure out who you are first.
I think if you don't know who you are, yeah, you would. But you also
do you think
should
we
be
know
married.
who we are in our early 20s?
Be married if you don't have an idea of who you are, but who you are changes. So you may not ever know who you are.
Yeah.
Because we all change.
Yeah.
But if you don't know yourself, you damn sure don't need to be getting married.
No.
And taking on somebody else, and they're all of them not knowing themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you think at 24-year-old Sheri, you knew who you were?
Who I am today? No. Who I was in that moment in time? Yeah, I think so. Did I have everything figured out? Hell no. But I knew who I was at that age in that moment of time. I didn't know who Sheri 45 was going to be.
Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew that I was a person who loved the guy that was standing across from me at the little makeshift altar outside, because we did not get married in the church. So.
Well, you weren't 24 when you got married.
I was 26.
26. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was 24. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely thought at 24 I knew what I was doing, and I thought I understood what I was getting into, but life happens and you just are like, no, that's not what I thought. But you just make it work.
But
Agreed.
even if you were 30, do you think you would have known? I don't
Probably
think
not.
until you get into it.
Yeah.
You really see what it is.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't regret having kids late either. I wanted to have kids before Clint did, but he didn't. So I honored that in our marriage. And that alone taught me a lot about like myself and, waiting. But I agree, having kids in my 30s, I feel like I'm a better mom.
Yeah.
I'm much more patient just because I'm more mature.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like had I been in my 20s, I think I would have been like more narcissistic.
Ooh, maybe so.
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have. Well, because it's so hard already to just give everything to them, and I get the scraps at the end. You know, I feel like, and so I get resentful sometimes with my kids because I'm just like, I had a really nice life before you were here, and you're talking to me like I am nothing.
Since we're on the couch, not the sofa, it's a couch. Since we're on the couch, let's dissect that a little bit. Why do you think you're just giving everything? Do you not have the boundaries to like make sure you're taking care of yourself?
I mean, I'm doing a better job of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm like too available. Yeah. But I'm definitely working on it.
Is that because you're a stay-at-home mom, or just that's who you are?
I think it's who I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm that way with customers too.
Yeah.
Like the moment they text me with a question, I feel like it's so important to answer them in that moment. And I approach life. Now, some of that means I get a lot of stuff done, right? Because you get questions answered and whatever. And so some of it's good, but some of it, I feel like it causes unnecessary stress because I could build a better boundary. And it goes into my children and the relationships because they're just so demanding. And it's hard to be like, you will wait, because they're like, mom.
But I think that's every kid. Oh my gosh, the amount of times you hear your name. I mean, I love being called mom, but after the umpteenth time, it's a little much sometimes.
Yeah.
That's where you just gotta walk away, like when they were babies, and like just put them in the crib and walk out. Put them in the crib and walk out.
Yeah.
And I had to do that a couple of times, and you take a deep breath and walk in. And I am so thankful I did not have a camera baby monitor. That's my one advice for anybody having babies. Don't get the camera baby monitor.
Why?
You do not need that. You don't need to stress over it and pine over it. Unless your child has serious health issues or something, then get it. But if not, you need your own time too. You don't need to be fixated on that thing.
I didn't fixate on it. But
you had one? You had a camera one?
Yeah, but I didn't fixate on it. Okay. I would look at it and I would like make sure that like the arm wasn't weird behind his back or something.
So what did they do when we were in there?
What do you mean?
They didn't have cameras when we were kids.
Oh, I know, but it's just it's just nice to have the technology, but I didn't fixate on it.
I've never been that kind of mom.
Yeah. I feel like if I'm doing anything right, I do build my life where my kids are part of it. They're not my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even though I feel like I give myself so much to them, I don't though feel like I live my life for them.
And I don't think you should.
No.
I mean, especially like if you think about what, like the Bible, it's God, your spouse, and then your family.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta put your mask on first.
I always think about like when they're gone, when they are out of the house. I'm going to be here with my husband, and I want to like him.
Yeah.
And I don't want all my activities, and I don't want it to turn into, okay, well, what are the kids doing this weekend in college?
Yeah.
Like I want them to have their own lives. And certainly if like one of them ends up in the band or something and you go to their performances when they're in college, like that's one thing. But I don't want it to just be, I want to be able to have my own relationship with my husband. Mm-hmm. And I've never been the kind of mom that's like, what are they doing? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, you're not a codependent with your kids.
No.
And you're good. Like you always talk about like dating my husband and
yeah, but I've worked on it. I'm working on it. You're really good about it. Like you go.
You think so?
Yes, y'all go on dates at least once a week.
I feel like y'all do just as much. Well, but you're always busy with your sports, so that's really hard for y'all.
Yeah,
go in a million directions.
Yeah, I don't feel like. I feel like I have to schedule it because of all the sports. Yeah. But like you guys have done it for so long, it's just natural.
But you know,
you don't have to schedule it anymore.
It didn't really start until we went into shutdown, you know, good old 2020.
Yeah.
And I think we had been home for so long and just the four of us, and Jeremy was like, we need a date. And I was like, oh, okay.
We do need a date.
Yeah. And so he found a sitter, did all the things. And he actually is the one that's really, really good about it. You know, we'll be sitting at home or I'll walk in the door and be like, hey, kids are going to do this for dinner. Come on, let's go. I'll be like, okay. It's very impromptu.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are the big, like, planned, you know, do a big event, dinner, whatever. But a lot of times it's just impromptu.
Like last year when y'all went to Fort Worth for the weekend and he planned all of it.
He did. He was so good. Even bought clothes and all kinds of things.
Yeah. I know. I don't even know what I would do if my husband bought me clothes.
You hope
he would never buy me clothes.
You hope they fit.
You know why he would never buy me clothes? Because he doesn't want me buying him clothes.
Oh. See?
Even though I am a stylist and a clothing buyer and I know exactly how to buy clothes for him. No.
He's Mr.
He wants his own style and he has developed his own little sense of style, his matching hat and shoes and
but it's just
shoelaces.
a lot of Tommy Bahama stuff. Like, why can't you buy that for him?
No. But no, I'm not allowed to. So, but no, your husband is good about that.
Yeah.
And my husband's good about making like date night, but like your husband does like the weekend. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're already planning another one, hopefully.
So. Aww. Mm-hmm. So the gist of what I hear you say is don't wait, live your life, enjoy it, and just do a certain amount of scheduling, but be flexible because there are other people in your family and they're going to have their own schedule and just enjoy the day.
Yeah. And that works for me because I mean, I'm pretty laid back.
You are.
You know, like it does irk me sometimes when something pops up like, oh, I forgot to tell you I got a meeting. Okay.
Well, and in your defense, it's because he works clear across the county. So when he forgets and you have to go get the kids, like it's an hour detour.
Yes. Yes. It's not like, oh, well, we won't do this for dinner tonight. No. It's, can you come get the kids? I forgot we.
And it's not like they're at home or at the neighbor's house and it's just like a 5-second thing. Like you literally have to completely change directions to go get them. Yeah. Yeah.
But I still love him.
It's a work in progress.
Yes. And one day it won't matter, you know. Yeah. Because when we didn't have kids, I didn't care. Like, oh, hey, I forgot I've got this. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm good with it. It didn't upset me. It upset me.
You're really good about being alone or like going and seeing friends too.
Yeah.
Like that's something I learned from you. Mm-hmm. Like you're really good about being like, I haven't seen so-and-so in a while and making that time for others, not just being about your husband. And it is interesting to me because I'm like, how do you have time?
You just got to make time. I mean, because something a saying that I picked up, I did not coin this phrase. I don't know who did, but you've got glass balls and rubber balls that you're juggling.
We're going to talk about balls.
We are. Spheres. Real spheres. Not what my 7-year-old talks about when you say the word balls.
But I'm still going to giggle like he did.
Could. So you've got glass and rubber balls and you're juggling them all. And you've got to know which ones are the ones that if you drop them, they're going to bounce. And which ones are the ones if you drop are going to shatter. the glass balls you can't drop.
Yeah.
But the rubber ball, it's going to bounce back. If I didn't go to the grocery store today and, oh my gosh, we ate chicken nuggets out of the freezer for dinner, I'm not going to stress. My kids were fed.
Yeah.
I might eat more chicken nuggets than I need to because it takes me back to my childhood days. But,
when I pull the chicken nuggets out of the freezer, my kids are like,
yeah. Whatever the thing is. Or if I call and order pizza, it's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
So, I try not to let it get to me too much.
That's what I learned from you, is because I'm such a ball of anxiety and
Yes,
you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it is fascinating to watch your life because you are, and you're so busy, and you still do all the things, but you wouldn't even know. Like if you asked me, what are you doing today? I'll be like, oh, I'm doing this, then I got to go do this, and you very well may have the same amount of stuff. But if I ask you the same questions, you're like, oh, I just going to work.
I need to come up with a different way to respond to that, because it sounds like, I'm just gonna show up, whatever.
Market your busyness better.
Yeah. But so one of the superintendents that I've worked for that I absolutely loved, amazing leader,
Dr. Flores.
Yes, he used to send out this Friday focus every week, and in his last one that he sent, I think it was the last one before he signed off when he retired, it said, people always mention, oh, sir, I know you're busy, but can I have a few minutes? He was like, busy holds no value. Busy is, nobody wants to be known as the busy person. It's finding value and being good at the things that are valuable to you. And so, I'm going to try and stop using that word busy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be busy. I want to be
productive.
I want to be doing meaningful
and making
things.
Relationships.
Yes. Oh, I love relationships are so important.
It's
a big part of what I do.
Oh, thank you for being here. Oh, this was fun.
Yes, it was.
Okay, I'm not going to cry.
No, we're not crying.
No.
There's no crying in podcasts.
No.